Hi, everybody.
Hey, everybody.
Okay.
Guess what show was on the other day?
Woo!
X-Files.
X-Files. Did you guys
Yep.
love the episode? Because I did. Did you?
It was another episode of X-Files. No, it was good. It was good.
Okay.
It's just they did to me what they always do to me. They reeled me in with like, this is about one thing, and then it was kind of not really.
That's true.
Because that wasn't like legitimate doppelgangers. That was like tulpas, and I mean, you know, they did the same thing. Like, we were watching the new Twin Peaks the other day, and they're like, called the doppelganger a tulpa. And I was like, what? Why can't I get anything?
I know, they keep doing that.
Why can't I
Anything
get a
that's
real doppelganger anywhere?
Well,
Kolchak, the Night Stalker.
that's
Well,
just-
even that, they called it a ghost.
They do, don't they? Yeah,
Yeah.
they never give it to you.
I never get like a straight up doppelganger
Well, I'll
story.
tell you what I was complaining about a few episodes ago was the fact that they never give us the shippers what we want. They gave it to us in this one.
Are you gonna jump right to the shipper stuff?
No, I'm just saying. So this
We'll
is...
talk about that, you know, after a while.
Yes, we will. So we're on the next episode of the X-Files,
This
season
is
11.
the second episode?
Yes, and it's
Or
called...
third episode.
Third, yes.
Yeah, I wasn't here for the first one.
And it is called Plus One.
Plus one.
And there are many different meanings to that, obviously. Well, just a couple. So the overall episode, you said you liked it, right? It's just the
Yeah,
fact
I mean,
that
they're
you-
good. It's X-Files. They do good stuff, you know.
I really
but
enjoyed it. I thought it was great.
I mean, I like to like have traditional creatures, or especially something like that, which we haven't had a lot of, like a doppelganger, which
I can understand
they're
that.
so creepy, you know, but you gotta do them.
Well, they do
Nobody
that a
ever
lot.
does them straight.
They do that a lot with X-Files and with Doctor Who. I think we discussed most shows will give you what you think you're gonna get. Or no, they will tease what you think you want.
Yeah,
And
then they'll give
not
you.
give it to
It'll be something different.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And with X-Files, it's because they always want to put an original kind of a spin on everything, you know.
Yes.
So they came up
true.
with their own kind of thing. Although it's kind of like the little girl in Erie, Indiana, who could draw pictures and they would become real.
Oh, that's...
Remember?
Oh, Doctor Who.
Ripped off.
Doctor Who ripped that off.
Everybody rips
No,
off the
but
best
literally,
shows.
Doctor Who ripped that off because they're... Yeah. Wow.
Erie, Indiana. We need to do a show
Wow.
talking about Indiana.
That's really sad.
Yeah.
Well, so this episode starts off with the first... Okay, spoilers, guys. For sure. This is going to be a spoiler video. The episode starts off with, and I forget the character's name, but it's a young guy.
Mulder. No. Young.
No, the young guy. A young guy who's at a concert, and he tends to be drinking too much. And he sees his doppelganger in the middle of a concert, and he starts freaking out because he's been seeing this guy for a couple of weeks now, I believe. And, oh, by the way, a little tidbit. I have not heard any of David Duchovny's music, but apparently they used one of David Duchovny's songs in the opening scene. It was like a punk version of
That
it.
Why
of
Don't
his
You
song.
Love Me song?
That wasn't... That's not David Duchovny.
You know
well,
that
it's
song?
called David Duchovny. Oh,
David Duchovny, why don't you love me?
I was 13. Leave me alone.
It was...
I did not write that.
No, it's an actual single that came out
Hey.
back in the day.
Okay, her the
She played
artist,
it a lot.
The artist's name was Bree Sharp,
Uh-huh.
and that was a great CD. That was a great album.
Really? Was
Yeah.
it all X-Files theme?
No, it was just that one song.
Okay.
Eventually,
That reminds me of when Tootie from Facts of Life tried to start a singing career by doing a song about Michael Jackson.
Oh my god.
That really happened in real life.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
eventually I started playing the other songs on that album.
That's good.
So, anyway.
In between playing the American Werewolf in Paris
Oh my god.
album that you were always playing.
You know I still put those
You
on.
still play
I still play those. Those are my go-to
Wow.
soundtracks, which is ridiculous. But so we start off with that scene.
Okay, yeah, this kid at a club getting, you know, at a concert getting drunk or something.
Yeah, and he sees himself in the crowd.
Yeah.
And so he runs off, gets in his car, tries to find the guy. I guess he's inebriated, so he thinks that he's gonna find him by driving. I don't know.
Was he looking for him, or was he just getting out of there?
I'm not sure if he was just trying
I
to
thought he was
escape or
leaving.
looking for the guy.
Yeah.
But anyway, cop car scares him.
Hiding in the woods,
Hiding
like
in the woods,
they
of
do.
course. And but anyway, he escaped that. The cop car moved on. And then the kid turns to the passenger side and sees the doppelganger again. Doppelganger takes control of the car and runs him off the road and shoots the actual kid through the windshield, and he gets injured. That was very detailed, but so that is how the episode opens, and I was really impressed by the opening because it was very X-Files, very classic X-Files.
And that was very doppelganger-y.
Yeah. Well, and until you realize what's going on, it is pretty
Then you're like, oh
complicated.
god, here we go.
I enjoyed it.
It was really good. It just frustrates me. I just want a real doppelganger story.
I know.
But okay, go ahead.
So then we cut to a scene.
Oh, in the office.
In the office,
Classic, like
which
Mulder and Scully.
Yes, we finally got that classic
it
Mulder
was-
and Scully scene.
This was like a classic episode, totally. It was
really
just a
reminded me of
basic, like, Monster of the Week episode.
With some
Yeah.
surprises thrown in.
Yeah.
And so we get that classic shot of Mulder and Scully in the office discussing the case. Scully, of course, is like, "Why are we going?" and all that usual talk.
Yeah. She's still, after everything, I don't know how she can ever be skeptical, but she's still...
You know, Gillian Anderson
Skeptical.
actually said that in an interview. She said, "I'd never thought I was going to have to say these lines again because, you know, she's over the skepticism."
Well, even was it the beginning of the last season that Mulder was being all skeptical, and I was like, "What are you guys? You just don't know what to do anymore?"
No, Mulder goes through his phases.
That's weird. I mean, to be skeptical about anything at this point, you know.
He was going through his phases during the show. Well, I think his skepticism comes from the fact that the smoking man is always throwing different things at him.
Well, I understand not trusting people and stuff, but
I mean, he was told one conspiracy, and then it ended up being a totally different conspiracy, and now it's a totally new conspiracy. So we don't know what's going on.
yeah.
So Mulder and Scully head off to investigate this crime. It's not really a crime yet, is it? He just flew out the windshield.
Yeah, but he was driving drunk, so.
Right.
But that's not what they were investigating.
No, they had
That's
had
what he got
several-
arrested for.
Yeah, Mulder had several case files on.
Yeah,
what was
so
going on this
they
time.
took the kid in to prison or to jail or whatever because he had been driving drunk. But did they have him at the hospital also? No, they didn't have him at the hospital.
No,
they
he
just
was
took him in
already
jail.
in jail.
And they went in to question him because they heard it was weird, and so they went over.
Well, I mean, yeah, Mulder.
He was telling people it was a double.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right. After they
Questioned him
interrogate him
yeah.
at the jail.
They find out that there's a hospital there that's been treating people
Right.
that have been having these like experiences
seeing
with
their doubles and then
and then dying,
committing
right?
suicide.
Committing suicide.
Right.
Okay.
Which leads me to a question later that you might have a theory about. At the hospital, Mulder looks through the window of one of the cells and sees this woman in bed with drawings all over her wall. And he walks in. He asks if he can see her, and they walk in and.
At first they tell him, but you shouldn't because she's got a split personality and she gets really mean.
Violent.
Sometimes she's really nice and sometimes she's really mean.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And there's just a bunch of hangman drawings all over the wall.
Like the game Hangman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is really interesting because I had forgotten how to play Hangman, and it's a really simple game,
Yeah.
but now I remember. So, and then what happened?
He goes in and talks to her, and she's just weird.
Yeah.
But she's being all nice, and she's talking
She
to
calls
like
herself
an
an
invisible
actress.
friend in the corner. And,
Yeah, which was a little weird.
yeah, and
So this character is played by Karen Conable, and I gotta say, I really enjoy her. I enjoyed her performance.
she's been on the X-Files a lot.
She
right?
has. She was on. She was. Oh gosh, I forgot
Was
the
it
character's
Mother?
name.
That
The mother in Home.
Oh, Home is that?
Which was
I
a
thought the
band
episode was called
episode.
Mother.
Mhm.
Yeah, Home. Okay, and then she was in
Peacock, Miss Peacock, I think.
in that one.
That was her name.
Okay.
I could be completely wrong.
And we were watching one the other day. You said that was her.
Oh, we were watching one tonight, yeah.
Yeah.
And it was Clyde Bruckman. No, not Clyde Bruckman's. Yes, Clyde Bruckman's Final Repose.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And she was playing the gypsy in that, who gets murdered.
Mm.
So she's been in a few of them. But I read that she had wanted to play a male. She had always wanted to play a male. And so they ran with that, and they let her play another character in this episode as well.
In this episode, she also plays her twin brother, and
Right.
if you didn't know it, you wouldn't even know that it was a woman.
She's so amazing.
Very convincing.
Her
I mean,
physicality.
when you told me, of course, I was like looking for any little tell. But,
Right.
But
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
it's still hard
Well,
to pick up.
And what's
on
funny is the way she plays it is like a kind of a quirky type
Yeah.
man, and you would never realize it really because there have been so many of those quirky male characters on X-Files.
Oh yeah. There's a lot of weirdos on that show. Yeah, no, you're right, and and she was a good one. And then so she found out about the brother. Basically, in that interview, I mean, Mulder found out that
Right.
she had a twin brother that she would play hangman with. That's why she had all those hangman
Exactly.
pictures.
Mhm.
And they did it like telekinetically because he wasn't in the hospital. He was off in his house, and he's kind of like a crotchety old guy.
Yeah,
who lives
he's
alone.
kind of a hermit. Mhm.
And pack rat and everything, and he's in his home, but they don't like each other, but they play
No,
hangman
I guess they're bored,
psychically.
or they just want to kill people.
Well, yeah, he just gave away the whole thing.
That's
You
okay.
want to get right to that?
Yeah.
Basically, they are killing people by playing hangman, and whenever they like play hangman, it's like what I said of a little girl. She in Erie,
Tulpa.
Indiana, who would draw a bike, and then a bike would appear. Well, in this, because it's like a real living thing, although that happened in Erie, Indiana too, they would become it would create a double
Right.
when they would play hangman of a person, and the double would just want to
Now,
kill
and this is
the original.
So, this is the question that I had. So, do you think that the double was actually killing that person and making it look like a suicide, or do you think that the person was that these twins were causing these hallucinations?
Yeah, and that's
and
just
then
something they don't
causing
ever.
the person to commit suicide.
They don't actually make that totally clear, but I mean, they can physically do things to them,
Right.
like grab them and throw them and hit them and all
Oh,
that stuff.
that's true.
So,
But it could still be a.
but that can still be
hallucination, I guess.
something you're doing yourself.
Yeah.
In a way, in this context of psychic powers and stuff. I don't know, but they're not able to shoot. I mean, like one of them tried to
don't-
shoot the other one, but of course the bullets are not real.
Right. In one scene, Mulder tries to shoot his doppelganger.
And of course that doesn't work because the doppelganger
It doesn't have a real gun.
It's like it doesn't have a real body either.
Right.
So and the doppelganger tried to shoot Mulder, and that's the one that didn't have a real gun, and it didn't work. So they couldn't shoot each other, but they can still grab each other and hit each other. So I don't know. They don't really go too into detail on explaining, the details of how it works, what makes it work.
I was a little
And
disappointed in that
They didn't use the
episode.
word tulpa, but it was clearly unless they're just making hallucinations.
Yeah.
If you were taking it for what you saw, where it was physical and everything,
Right.
then they were making tulpas. Yeah.
I mean, it was a pretty straightforward episode, and with that, I mean, but that was a little odd. I felt that it was a little abrupt. I don't know though. I know that a lot of the later episodes were abrupt.
They got
like
more
that.
into detail with the explanation. You think some of them?
Yeah, I think so. Absolutely.
Maybe I think some of them do and some of them don't.
I mean, we just watched Clyde Bruckman, and that was pretty. But yeah, you're right. Some of them do, and some of them don't.
Yeah.
So,
but yeah, they don't ever use the word tulpas, but like that's basically what it was. But I mean, it's still kind of doppelgangers because they're still doubles.
right.
But the doppelgangers that I think of are sort of parallel dimensional kind of evil things.
I did love that when you saw the doppelgangers, they were giving this sinister scowl. Usually,
yeah, they looked like,
which was really cool. I enjoyed that.
if they had just had a different origin story,
right,
then they would have been legitimate doppelgangers. Yeah.
But like we said, the acting in this was amazing.
Yeah, there was,
I thought
there's usually not a ton of
I thought
characters
Karen
in this.
stole the show. I really did.
Well, I mean, that's what I was gonna say. She had the bulk of. There wasn't a lot of other characters in it.
Right.
Were there? Just,
well, the nurses were funny themselves. Also,
Yeah.
there were a couple of nurses that were helping Scully throughout it. They were funny.
Okay, so she had these pills that she would take to protect herself. The lady in the hospital. What's her name? You remember the character's name at all? Well, the one that was causing the problems. Her and her brother.
I know the brother's name was Chuck.
Yeah, I think so.
Chucky.
Anyway, so she would make. She had pills, and they weren't real pills. The nurses told Scully, because Scully had gotten some. She gave some to Scully, and the nurses said, "Those aren't real pills. Those are just bread. We give her bread to eat in the morning."
Well, the nurses,
and she just rolls them into makes pills out of them.
Yeah.
And says that they protect you from what she's doing, right? And then
Scully goes to the trash can to throw them away, and then the nurses are like, "But we take them."
to be
you
safe.
might want to take them too.
And eventually Scully, gets concerned, and she actually takes them.
She gets so convinced.
But that is so
about
gross. I
things.
mean, she's taking bread.
Yeah, it's nasty.
She's in a crazy hospital.
Not only that,
and she's rolling. That's probably not politically correct, but she's taking bread and she's rolling it up in the balls and eating.
Not only that, but she was carrying them in like a pouch in her.
Oh, I didn't even see that part.
That
Oh
was
my
like
God.
I mean, who
Wow.
knows? We know where it's been.
Yeah.
But one thing we forgot to mention was the fact that this character, these twins, they each have their own like persona as well. Like they have a kind of a good side and a bad side. Like he went to visit the man a couple of times, and one was more violent than the other. And then even the woman in the hospital, she had her
violent
her
side,
violent side, yeah.
side.
And
But it was
that's
just
what it's
it was
about,
she
I
was
guess.
just her. She would just
Right.
switch back and forth. She
Right.
wasn't like split into
Horrible
two.
with-
Well, yeah, that's true. I don't know. But it wasn't heavily explained on the way the things were worked, but
We'd have to watch it again to
Yeah.
see if we missed anything. But so basically, of course, Mulder and Scully saved the day, right? They this is the spoiler of the ending. So this woman in the hospital, she has a crush on Mulder.
Which one? Oh, the main one, the one.
Yeah, the main one, Karen.
Well, and then the guy, the brother likes Scully.
And the brother likes Scully, right. So these two are playing hangman, and they're trying to knock off the other, Mulder and Scully, the competition, basically.
Yeah.
And they end up getting angry at each other because they figure out that the other one is doing that, is trying to do that. And they
end up instead making like each other.
Right.
Doubles
They
of
start
each
writing
other.
their own names, or each
other's
names.
And then that's what.
That's what
While Mulder and Scully are fighting their own doubles, those doubles disappear, and instead they get their own doubles pop up and end up killing them, I guess.
Which I really enjoyed seeing Mulder fight his double. I thought that was really cool. I wish Scully had gotten a fight scene with her double instead of just like seeing her in the
just saw
car.
it, right?
Yeah.
And after she saw her double and got freaked out, and also after somebody told her she looked old, who told her? I forget.
See, this goes into it. So that was the whole, major plot line. But there was this whole other subplot, which kind of, in a way, took over slightly. But this woman, the woman in the hospital when she was Judy, right? Her name was Judy.
Well, when she was throwing
They call her
the dookie.
They called her Demon Judy or something like that.
Yeah. She, I don't remember. I guess it was
Or
Judy.
Judith. I don't know.
And she called herself, when she was nice, she was what, Little Judy?
Yeah.
Like a child star,
Like an
grown
actress,
up, like
right.
Shirley Temple type. But then, when you go in there and she was being mean, she was, would you call her Demon Judy?
Demon Judy, yeah.
And she flings Dookie at you.
Yeah,
Which Dookie is this thing that she eats out of a can.
it's almost like pudding.
And it looks like poop, you know.
Yeah.
And they just, I don't know, they didn't want
They provide it in the hospitals, I guess.
have her actually flinging poo. So they just gave her. It looks so ridiculous. Who would buy a little can of Dookie and eat it? It was gross.
People buy those kind of things all the time at
but
trick
anyway,
stores and
so
stuff.
she'd fling that at Scully when she was being mean, and she said something about her looking old.
Right, Scully went to interview her, and Demon Judy told Scully that she was all washed up, and she said, "What does what does that handsome partner of yours see?"
That she was
see
too
in
old
you?"
to have children and stuff like that.
Yeah, and she was past her prime and stuff.
Yeah.
And it got into Scully's head, sadly, because I guess Scully's been going through this emotional time with her son William, and Mulder's son. I still think it's Mulder's son. I don't think it's the cigarette.
Oh yeah,
smoking man.
I'd be surprised if that's not Mulder's kid.
So
with probably some alien DNA spliced in, you know.
Mm-hmm. So I really enjoyed.
Or Scully already has alien DNA.
Right, Scully has alien
So
DNA.
they don't have to splice any in. Anyway, so wait, well, you were gonna say you enjoyed something, but
Right.
I was leading to something.
Oh, well, hold on. I
Okay.
just want to put these two things in here.
Okay.
If you guys check out the TV screen that the woman was watching in the Judy
they have these little
was watching
things
in
of doubles,
the asylum. Yeah, she was
twins
watching
and doubles.
films of in TV shows. She was watching
The Parent Trap, the
Parent
original
Trap,
Parent
which
Trap.
is awesome because it's one of my favorite movies. And I
Watch
love
the original.
Love seeing it on X-Files.
Watch the
Not Lindsay
Haley
Lohan.
Mills. They're both Disney movies, but watch the old '60s one. That is so much better.
So
and
good.
I mean, the Lindsay Lohan one is watchable.
Yeah.
But the '60s one
Played
is so
stuff.
much better.
Oh, it's
my
amazing.
God.
And so they were showing that, and then they were also showing the Patty Duke show, which I don't know if any of you guys remember the Patty Duke show.
It was kind of some studio, I don't know who makes Patty Duke show, but they were like, we can make a TV series out of the Parent Trap.
And they made them
kind of
identical cousins.
Just the concept of twins that was actually one actress.
So the big thing that happened in this episode.
I don't know if anything happened, but go ahead.
Your son, Mulder and Scully, are back at it. They're having sex again.
Wait, what?
Yes.
Cause she was just like, hold me, and then they like cuddled, and then in the morning they still were dressed. He had his clothes on.
Scully wasn't dressed.
He had his shirt on.
Scully was not dressed.
He was. Mulder was.
Please, have you?
It seemed like they just went to sleep.
Sometimes. No. Oh my.
I think they just went to sleep.
You're being ridiculous.
No, I'm serious. Because what? All we know is he made a crack in the morning.
Right. Well, nobody knows more than the actress who portrayed Scully.
Oh, did she say something?
She tweeted and she said, and then they had sex twice, and she did
twice.
Yes, because
she's just writing in her own thing. Then.
No, she was really happy about it. She tweeted it out to everybody.
She's just talking about the characters.
Show, the characters. I don't know about the other thing. There has been speculation. But yeah, so she verified it.
No, that's not official.
Please, she's working on the script.
She's not the writer.
He's
or the
doing
director.
this just to get me angry and annoyed, and I hope you guys are on my side because that is the truth.
We didn't see anything that was sexual.
You never see anything, and you know what?
I never even saw them kiss. They just.
I've seen them kiss
before. They went to sleep holding each other, and then woke up, and he made a joke about Afterglow because that's what you do. You make a crack.
So this leads us to the shipper count, and we're gonna do the shipper count, and we're gonna discuss these in detail because this is important. Okay, you ready? So number 1 is the arrival at St. Rachel's Motel. And this is not super shippery, but it leads up to what happens later. So, do you remember the scene?
Yeah, they get a room, they get a hotel room, like they always do because they have to.
Mulder and Scully go up to get a hotel room, and they don't have any rooms available. So the woman says, "We have a suite."
It was a man, wasn't it? I couldn't tell
That
that was a
woman.
guy or a lady.
That was a woman.
Okay, sorry.
So she says, "We have a suite available," and right away Mulder's like, "Yeah." Scully looks at Mulder and she's like, "What are you trying to say? We're not gonna, share any kind of bed or anything." And Mulder's just like, "What?" I'm just acting completely innocent, of course, So I didn't really feel any, flirtation there. It was just kind of.
He said that he
know.
just wanted to get some
shut eye.
Shut eye.
Yeah. But then he gives her this look. Anyway, it's just an introduction to what happens later. So then we have I wrote down the boot scootin' motel talk.
Oh God, really?
Yeah, because he talks about that. If
He's
you
trying
guys,
to make her feel better because she was. Okay,
well,
go ahead.
yes. So he's trying to make her feel better because she came in from the investigation,
Mm-hmm.
and the woman had just told her that she was old
Mm-hmm.
and washed up, and so she was asking Mulder if he thought of her as old, and Mulder looked at her and was like, "No, not at all. You've still got some. What does he say? Scoot left, or is that? I don't know. That
Boot
phrase.
Boot scoot
Yeah,
boogie or.
yeah. Because in the previous episode, last
You
season,
scooting your boot is what he said, or
yeah,
something like that.
still got some scoot in your boot. In an episode in last season, he was hallucinating and he was dancing to.
Oh, was it that one?
Was it that?
Was an achy
Oh no, it
breaky
was achy
heart?
breaky heart. Yeah, but they mentioned boot scooting boogie. I feel like anyway.
Probably.
Maybe not. But yeah, so he was making her feel better and stuff, and then they just had a little flirtatious moment. So yes, so that's another one. Oh, he said knock 3 times.
Oh, later. Oh.
That was funny. Knock 3 times.
Yeah. Okay, that's funny.
All right.
guess.
So number 3 is this guy.
Go
is a
ahead.
jerk.
No, no.
You're a jerk. Yes, you are. So
Okay.
number 3 is pillow talk. They were talking. Actually, this is. They were having some really serious chats. And it
These
was
were
really
like,
sad.
yeah, this wasn't.
But I mean, they were cuddling.
And that time he told us she was old, or one of those pillow talks. You don't remember that?
When?
Said something about when we get old, and then he goes, when we get old,
I know,
or
he's
something like
contradicting
that.
himself.
Yeah. Now
No,
you're being honest.
So Scully has been waking up in the middle of the night because she feels people looking at her.
Wait, you didn't talk about how she was talking about they were talking about wanting
Well,
to have
I'm leading up to that. So Scully has been freaking out because she keeps waking up in the middle of the night, and Mulder has been, hovering over her bed, but simply for the fact that, somebody keeps dying, so he keeps having to wake her up. He's like, so this person just died.
Oh,
And
yeah,
she's like,
okay.
Mulder, stop it. Stop scaring me. So the third time...
It looks like he's just... First, you always think it's the
looking at her
doppelganger.
creepily.
First, you think it's
Yeah,
the doppelganger, and then
which
you
is
think
really
that
cool.
he's just trying to get into bed.
Oh, well, and...
But it's always just like...
Oh, I forgot to mention that second time that he was like... Or he said that the first time.
What did he say? I
He
forgot.
said, is that bed comfy or something like that? And then he just wiggled his eyebrows. But he was being ridiculous. He was being...
Like also like when he made that
he was
afterglow
making
joke.
snide comments. No.
That was just... You always...
That was serious, but he was also being... Yes.
Maybe.
Okay.
I didn't see anybody have sex. But I will say that if they did... Okay, well, no. I'm getting ahead. Go ahead with what you're getting at.
Well, since you mentioned I didn't see anybody having sex. You never see anybody having any... You never
And
see,
that's why we still don't know
Wait.
if they ever had sex.
You never see Mulder and Scully having sex.
Because
on the
now they're
X-Files.
trying to tell us that's not their kids. So we still don't even know. Maybe they never had sex.
They did have sex
Based on...
based on the fact that they No, I don't know how to describe this to you.
But they don't know anything. People put mind tricks on them, and aliens put things in their head. And
There are
the
episodes.
smoking man comes in and tells them they had sex.
There are episodes in season
And then he says they didn't.
There are episodes in season 8 and 9 where they discuss those nights, okay? And there are also, they have the movie, the second movie too, where they're living together and everything. They're like married, practically, in the second movie. You haven't seen the
And
second
they're married
movie,
people
have
that
you?
don't have sex.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
What I was gonna say is that I don't want to see a graphic sex scene with Mulder and Scully.
No, neither do I.
I really don't want to see it. I didn't want to see it when they were younger. Because, I don't know. That's just, I don't want to see it.
Plus now Mulder kind of looks like Walter Matthau.
No, he doesn't.
He does, actually.
Oh, no. So, I feel like I really enjoy seeing just the
You never saw this
banter and
picture
the-
of a young Mulder?
You are so mean. You can't see it.
Oh, there it is.
He's still attractive.
It's old Mulder.
Anyway. So I like that they kind of hint at things more. I don't, kisses are fine, but I just don't want to see that. A lot of people do, though, I know.
Oh, yeah.
Most people do.
You probably
They
looked
want
at,
to
there's
see
probably
it.
a bunch of fake pictures on the internet.
Oh, yeah, I think, yeah. So I was on Instagram today and I saw an artist had made some after the episode last night. It was really interesting. Very nice work, whoever you are. It was really good, but yeah.
What was it?
Oh, it was. I'll show you later.
I don't wanna see
So
it.
the next.
I don't want to see it. I just
So
wanna
during
know.
the pillow talk that we're leading up to, Scully asks Mulder if she can get if he can hold her, right? Yeah.
Which I just can't imagine Scully asking for that.
Why?
I don't know. She's so cold. Just can't imagine her being, hold me. Will you hold me?
Aw,
I just don't get that from her.
really?
Yeah, I would think
Well,
he would
you
come
see
to
that
her and say,
later.
will you hold me? I could, and she'd probably say no. She did tell him no.
She did do that.
He wanted
Yeah.
seconds, and she was like, no.
See? Oh, you just said
Not
it. He wanted
really.
seconds.
I'm trying to, support your idea, but anyway, that was when he was actually, there you go, he was trying to get sex.
Well,
and
she was
she
scared
refused.
and she. No. Hello, did you not see the last 5 minutes?
What happened in the last
Last
5 minutes?
minute or whatever. Anyway, so.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
She was scared because she kept seeing things behind her, and when she was waking up, right? So she goes to Mulder's sofa, pull-out sofa, which sucks. If they had sex, they should have just moved to the bed instead of anyway. So she goes to Mulder and says, "Will you hold me?" And then so he was like, "Yes." Right away, and so they
that's all that happened. They went to
They were
sleep.
spooning and talking, and she was talking about how worried she was when they were gonna retire and she wasn't gonna see him anymore.
Oh yeah.
And they wanted to spend. She was wondering if they were gonna spend time together. It's actually a really serious chat, and he was reassuring her that they were always gonna be there for each other, and then they started talking about conspiracies and how the world's falling apart and they're the only two who can save it. And and that she wants to have more children too.
Yeah, that was, he skipped over that. Yeah, that was the big thing. She was talking about, she was talking about how the woman had told her she was old.
Right, and dried up
couldn't
and
have
stuff.
kids and stuff, and they were talking about that, and he asked her if she, would want to have another kid, and she said, well, it's too late, but...
She didn't say it was absolutely
she did.
too late. She said...
No. She
Are
said...
you sure?
She said it was too late, but again, it's X-Files, I mean...
Well, you said...
It'll just happen.
You said you're a woman of science,
Well, yeah, and, but I mean, if they had sex that night, and that's a big if.
They did. They did.
Then I have a theory that possibly she got pregnant
That would be amazing.
with a little girl named 11.
That
And she's waffles.
makes no sense.
And she
11
gets
time
stolen by the
travel.
government.
And taken to 1980.
Taken through time to the past to save the past. And
That would be amazing.
so we
Wow.
can we're gonna we need a crossover with that and Twin Peaks. A
Yeah.
big like super crossover.
That would be incredible.
Set in the 80s.
I'm all for that. Wow.
Oh my god, that'd be interesting.
Ah, that would be awesome. But so Scully turns to him after all this talk, and they're talking about the world ending, and then he's like, yeah, what would we do? And then she turns to him and all smiles and flirty look and says, we'll figure out something.
I don't know.
And then the
I
screen...
don't know what a flirty look is.
Well, then obviously you don't know if these people had sex or not. Anyway.
No, I know that. I've seen
No.
that.
Then the camera pans
Videos.
off of them. What did you say?
I said I've seen videos of people having sex. Thank you very much. Not tonight.
The camera pans to the side, and they're both smiling at each other, like something's gonna happen. So we don't know yet if they had sex. We're like, oh, they're just cuddling, or are they having sex? Anyway, so the camera pans off, and we see Doppelganger Scully hovering in the background, which is kind of creepy that she was watching them.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
But so then later on, we have number 4. So we see Mulder waking up, and they look like they're just still cuddling, right? Except they're on opposite sides of the bed.
Wait, what?
Yeah, Scully started on this side.
Oh, they're
Right.
really?
Yeah.
They're on the other side of what they
Yes.
were before.
Yes.
Oh well, somebody had to go to the restroom.
No, because Mulder just got up to go to the restroom. So they look like they're just cuddling. Scully's all like cuddled up and under blankets. So Mulder gets up and goes to the bathroom, and I call the next one Mulder's afterglow, because he did have an afterglow.
Mulder had
Yes,
the oh,
he was
sure.
drinking some
I
water.
think he was in the bathroom there. And
He was drinking from the faucet, and then he stands up and he looks at himself in the mirror, and he just gives like this smile. It's almost like an embarrassed smile. However,
of something that he did by himself.
no. However, I still am not sure if he's smiling because of the afterglow, because of the experience he had, or if he's looking at himself in the mirror almost like, oh, a doppelganger.
Can I tell you what was happening?
No.
He was coming up with that afterglow joke.
No,
And he was like, that's what I'm going to say. And then he went out there and said that.
that makes no sense. He hadn't seen the doppelganger yet.
What? Doppelganger? Wait, what did it have to do with the doppelganger?
He saw the doppelganger in the shower, his own doppelganger. And that's why he runs into the room
Oh.
and he tells Scully, hurry up and get dressed. And Scully's like, Mulder, come back to bed. And then...
We're about to... We haven't had sex. We're
No.
about to have sex.
No.
Get back in bed.
Scully sits up, and she has a sheet wrapped around her. She's totally naked. Yeah. So, yeah.
Doesn't mean anything.
That does mean something if you're a shipper, sir.
I know that. Everything means something.
Yeah. Well,
Okay.
yeah, true.
Interesting.
True. There are some moments that are a little excessive, but anyway, when I was 13, every moment meant something. Okay.
No.
So Scully sits up and she's naked with a sheet over her, and Mulder says, "Oh, what does he say?"
I just shot an elephant in my pajamas.
No, he says, "Put a dimmer on that afterglow."
Oh, yeah.
And that is the line that everybody is posting everywhere. That is like his takeaway line from this show, from this episode. Put a dimmer on that afterglow. So, afterglow. Which means something. Stop looking at them. And then the last one we have is nap time. Yes. Because
I don't remember that.
after they come back from saving the world and saving people from the doppelgangers, Mulder walks in the suite while Scully is packing, and Mulder says, "Hey, so I figured we could get in a couple hours before checkout or whatever." And he's given, yeah, that's the code. That's the code. And Scully's like, "What are you talking?" She gives him this look like,
That we are never going to have sex look.
Again.
Yeah, she gave it to him again.
No. She's... Who's on first? So then he almost walks... After she kind of like shuts him down, he almost walks away with this sad face. Like he was shut down.
He was shut down.
In a way. But I think he knew that she was going to go back to him. Because after he leaves the room, after saying, "If you need anything, let me know." After he leaves the room, then Scully says, it's not, just something to the effect of, it's not beyond the realm of impossibility or something like that.
Possibility.
Yeah. So then she walks towards the door, opens it, and there's Mulder looking at her like, "Yep,
Wait,
it's time to go again." You don't remember that?
To leave?
No!
I don't remember him, like, that part.
You don't remember that part?
I just remember her saying, it's not, outside the realm.
Well, clearly you don't remember that they had sex twice. So that was a huge
Nothing.
Huge deal. It was a huge deal.
Was that a big thing?
Big deal.
Okay.
You almost trapped me there.
Oh, okay. Good job.
So I was super excited. And I know all of you out there who are shippers. No Romos, I'm sorry, but...
What's a what? Did you say?
No Romos.
What is that?
You don't remember that?
No Romos?
No Romos were no romance. They didn't. There were people who were totally against. They were totally against the Mulder Scully thing.
No Romos.
Yeah, they called them No Romos online.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I thought it was awesome. My little shipper heart was really happy, and I know that everybody else's was. That's been. I mean, that's all the internet. It's all over the internet. Yeah. Everybody's super excited about it. So, yeah. We'll see where it goes from here. One thing some people are talking about is continuity issues. The fact that in the last episode, Mulder and Scully were like at his house, which is okay. I mean that could be. I mean they could have just been hanging out at his house.
How's that continuity?
But then she said we can't go to our home. People are like picking on things, like the fact that she said we can't go to our home.
Well, that's.
So they're saying that that's a continuity issue.
That's stupid.
He's saying y'all are stupid.
Not everybody, but that was a stupid thing.
Yeah, so that's one thing. I'm trying to think of other things that people are saying, but they're just all really excited about it.
That's good.
Yeah.
It's good to have something.
Are you not excited about this at all? You don't care?
They got a kid already. It's.
Oh, yeah, but who wants to live in a world where we know that Mulder and Scully are just not... I mean, they're totally estranged. That was awful. So, yeah. Did you like the episode, Nathan?
It was alright. It was good. I mean, they're good. It's a good episode. It wasn't good.
Where would you rate it with the current season?
The current season? It's probably my favorite one so far, the three. You know? Yeah. Because I like that. I like it when it's a Monster of the Week episode. I like that.
Have you seen the preview?
And it was well done.
Oh yeah, I really liked it.
It was very true to the old stuff. It was just like any episode of the old, the old show, of the old.
I think it's hilarious because the first episode, everybody was so angry and they were irate about Chris Carter, doing the whole baby thing. And then now, this episode, they're like, "We love you, Chris Carter, for giving us this." So, yeah. I'm
a Star Wars fan, and I'm reading all this stuff about The Last Jedi, and it is just... You don't even want to call yourself a quote-unquote Star Wars fan because there's so many stupid ones, that say so many horrible things and make the stupidest complaints,
Yeah, true.
But so I know what that's all about. But
so yeah, I would say that the shipper count, the shipper meter. I mean, when I saw this episode, I was like, should we even do a shipper count? Because it was just like the whole thing was shipperish. But yeah. So we had.
Yeah.
How much did we have? 6.
how much was it last time?
I thought it was 7 last time.
Well, I mean,
But
because this time
they were outright,
Yeah, this was
just
more
obvious, yeah. So we'll see how they carry it to the next season, the next episode, because apparently, if this is true about their son,
this was all
that might put a rift in
this
their
whole episode probably
relationship.
never happened.
I was thinking about that. I was like, is this the season that never happened, and Scully is still actually on that bridge trying to save Mulder?
She hallucinated a season of a TV show.
That would be awful. So.
Or this is like taking place in a different time frame.
Well, yeah, because we are gonna get
parallel time.
We're gonna get a Mandela Effect episode.
Now is it gonna? Are they gonna trick me and it's not gonna be a Mandela Effect?
I don't know. We'll see. I don't. I saw the preview for the next.
That would be cool.
I saw the preview for the next episode coming, and it looks really good. It looks like one of the classic episodes, Postmodern Prometheus. Mm. It looks really similar to that, and I'll have to show you the preview because you haven't seen it yet, have you?
No. The next one, no.
It looks really interesting. I'm not sure if that's the Mandela Effect one, but we'll see.
Well, what does it have to do with Postmodern Prometheus? That's an old episode.
Right, it's an old episode, but I'm saying that it looks like this. It's the style of it almost. It's not in black and white, but it's got a very, very stylistic. Okay. So I'm excited.
Cool.
So yeah.
Yeah, well, we'll be there.
We'll be there. I hope you guys like this video, and I hope you guys like the episode of X-Files tonight, because I really enjoyed it. I know everybody was
I did
squealing.
Enjoy it a lot. Yeah.
All the girls were squealing, at least I know that. They were excited. So yeah. And what rating would you give this episode from a 1 to 10, based on all the other X-Files episodes that you've seen? We haven't been doing this, but I'm curious.
I don't know. I'm not a big fan of doing that, because to really be fair, you have to really remember every other episode and think about what you would rate every other episode.
We saw, after we watched this episode, we watched a couple of episodes from like season 2 and season 3. Would you say that this episode reminded you of those seasons? It honestly transported me back to those early seasons.
I mean, like I say, for me, this was like a typical episode of the classic series, and that's all I'll say. I'm not gonna like put a number rating on it, because I don't feel like I am well versed at this point enough, like remembering every episode enough to be numbering any as far as ranking. But maybe after we've run through the whole thing, because we're probably gonna start up when we finish this season.
When this season is done, announcement. When this season is done, we're gonna start reviewing every X-Files episode, starting from the very beginning, the pilot. So I'm super excited about that.
Yeah, we'll probably do that with maybe 2 shows at a time, in the sense that I mean, like, we were thinking of also maybe doing Sailor Moon.
Yeah, I would love to do that.
And maybe when we run through that, move on to another show, because there's a lot of shows we've been saying we need to start watching this show again from the beginning. Quantum Leap, I just got the whole show on Blu-ray for Christmas. A lot of great shows, and then there's a lot that are on Netflix and Hulu and all that stuff.
So the first one for us, one of the first shows is going to be X-Files. That's going to be
we've already started that.
Excited.
So we'll go back to the beginning after this season.
It'll be nice to revisit everything.
Yeah.
So you guys like the video? If you liked it, subscribe and comment, because I want to hear all of your thoughts on the episode. I really do.
Sure.
I thought it was a great episode, great acting, I mean, a lot of people, I was going to mention too, a lot of people are kind of iffy about the story itself. They weren't too excited about the writing. I don't know.
After watching it, they just didn't think it was very well. it was probably like me. They probably wanted a more of a true doppelganger story.
Well,
you know?
they're saying that there were like plot holes. I don't know. I didn't notice any.
I mean, they could have.
They could have expanded on details.
Yeah, given more details,
right. But they don't usually.
I don't know if there were any plot holes.
But there are a lot of opinions online. But most people are.
People
happy.
are gonna nitpick everything.
Yeah, most people are happy with this episode, so that's nice to know.
Yeah.
And so are we. So, all right, guys, we'll see you next time.
See ya.
Bye.